What is Angular?
Angular is a TypeScript-based front-end framework developed by Google for building dynamic, single-page applications, SPAs. It provides a comprehensive solution including components, services, routing, and dependency injection out of the box.
What is an Angular component?
A component is the fundamental building block of an Angular application. It consists of a TypeScript class decorated with it component, an HTML template, optional CSS styles, metadata such as selector, template URL, and style URLs.
What is the purpose of the @component decorator?
The @component decorator marks a class as an Angular component and provides metadata that tells Angular how to process, instantiate, and use the component at runtime. Key properties include selector, the custom HTML tag template URL, path to the HTML template style URLs, array of style sheets.
What is data binding in Angular?
Data binding is a mechanism that connects the component class to the template. Angular supports 4 forms: interpolation, expression, property binding. Property equals expression, event binding. Event equals handler, two-way binding. Ing model equals property.
What is an Angular service?
A service is a class decorated with an injectable that encapsulates reusable business logic, data access, or utility functions. Services are typically singletons when provided at the root level and are shared across components via dependency injection.
What is dependency injection, DI, in Angular?
Dependency injection is a design pattern where Angular's DI system creates and delivers dependencies, usually services, to classes that request them. Instead of a class creating its own dependencies, they are injected via the constructor, private myService.
What is the purpose of the @injectable decorator?
The @injectable decorator marks a class as available for Angular's dependency injection system. Setting it injectable, provided in root, registers the service as a singleton at the application root level, enabling tree shaking.
What is an Angular module, Ing module?
An Ing module is a class decorated with an Ing module that organizes related code into cohesive blocks. Key metadata properties, declarations, components, directives, pipes, imports, other modules needed, providers, services, bootstrap, root component.
What is the difference between declarations and imports in an Ing module?
Declarations registers components, directives, and pipes that belong to the current module. Imports brings in other Ing modules whose exported classes are needed by templates in this module. For example, importing forms module to use Ing model.
What are Angular lifecycle hooks?
Lifecycle hooks are methods that Angular calls at specific moments in a component's life. Key hooks in order: Ing on changes, input property changes Ing on init, after first Ing on changes Ing do check, custom change detection Ing after view init, after view initializes Ing on destroy, before component is destroyed.
What is Ing on init and when is it called?
Ing on init is a lifecycle hook called once after the first Ing on changes. It is used for component initialization logic such as fetching data from a service. It is preferred over the constructor for initialization because input bindings are available at this point.
What is Ing on destroy used for?
Ing on destroy is called just before Angular destroys the component. It is used for cleanup tasks such as unsubscribing from observables, detaching event handlers, stopping timers with clear interval. This prevents memory leaks.
What is Angular routing?
Angular routing maps URL paths to components, enabling navigation in a single-page application without full-page reloads. Routes are defined in a routes array and loaded via router module. For route, routes. The directive marks where routed components render.
How do you define routes in Angular?
Routes are defined as an array of route objects, const routes, routes equals, path, home component, path, users/id, component, user component, path, ***, component, not found component. The wildcard handles unmatched routes.
What is lazy loading in Angular?
Lazy loading delays the loading of a feature module until the user navigates to its route. This reduces the initial bundle size. It is configured with the path admin loadChildren equals import ./admin/admin module .then m equals m.admin module.
What is a route guard in Angular?
A route guard is a service that controls whether navigation to or from a route is allowed. Common guard interfaces can activate, controls access to a route can deactivate, controls leaving a route can load, controls lazy loaded module loading resolve, prefetches data before activation.
How does can activate guard work?
Can activate is a guard that runs before a route is activated. It returns a Boolean URL tree or an observable/promise of these. If it returns false, navigation is cancelled. Example use: checking if a user is authenticated before allowing access to a protected route.
What is the difference between template-driven and reactive forms?
Template-driven forms use directives like ing model in the template and are simpler for basic forms. Reactive forms use form group and form control in the component class, offering more control, easier testing, and better handling of dynamic or complex forms. Reactive forms require importing reactive forms module.
How do you create a reactive form in Angular?
Create a reactive form using form group and form control. This.myForm equals new form group, name, new form control, validators.required email, new form control, validators.required, validators.email. Bind it in the template with form group equals myForm and form control name equals name.
What is Form Builder in Angular?
Form Builder is an injectable service that provides a shorthand syntax for creating form group, form control, and form array instances. This.myForm equals this.fb.group, name, validators.required email, validators.required, validators.email.
What are Angular pipes?
Pipes are functions that transform data in templates. They are used with the operator, birthday date, long date. Built-in pipes include date pipe, uppercase pipe, lowercase pipe, currency pipe, decimal pipe, JSON pipe, and async pipe.
How do you create a custom pipe?
Create a class decorated with at pipe name, myPipe, that implements the pipe transform interface at pipe name, truncate. Export class truncate pipe implements pipe transform value, string, limit, number string, return value.length limit, value.substring, 0, limit, plus value.
What is the async pipe?
The async pipe automatically subscribes to an observable or promise and returns the emitted value in the template, data $async. It also automatically unsubscribes when the component is destroyed, preventing memory leaks. It triggers change detection when a new value is emitted.
What are Angular directives?
Directives are classes that add behavior to elements in the DOM. There are three types: component directives, directives with a template, components, structural directives, change DOM layout, e.g., *ing if, *ing for, attribute directives, change appearance or behavior, e.g., ing class, ing style.
What is the *ing if directive?
*ing if is a structural directive that conditionally includes or removes an element from the DOM based on a Boolean expression. Welcome. Please log in. Unlike hiding with CSS, *ing if completely removes the element and its children.
What is the *ing for directive?
*ing for is a structural directive that repeats a template for each item in a collection. Item.name, using trackby improves performance by helping Angular identify which items changed.
How do you create a custom attribute directive?
Create a class decorated with @directive, selector, app highlight, @directive, selector, app highlight, export class highlight directive, @host listener, mouse enter, on mouse enter. This.l.native element.style.background color equals yellow, constructor, private L, element ref.
What is RxJS in Angular?
RxJS, Reactive Extensions for JavaScript, is a library for reactive programming using observables. Angular relies heavily on RxJS for HTTP requests via HTTP client. Reactive forms value changes router events. Event handling key concepts include observable, observer, subject, and operators.
What is an observable in RxJS?
An observable represents a stream of data that arrives over time. Unlike promises, observables are lazy, they don't execute until subscribed to, can emit multiple values, and are cancelable via unsubscribe. This.myservice.getData.subscribe. Next, data equals console.log, data, error equals console.error, error.
What is the difference between observable and promise?
Key differences. Observable emits multiple values over time. Promise resolves once. Observable is lazy, executes on subscribe. Promise is eager, executes immediately. Observable is cancelable via unsubscribe. Promise is not. Observable supports operators like map, filter, switch map.
What is a subject in RxJS?
A subject is both an observable and an observer. It can multicast values to multiple subscribers. Variants include behavior subject, stores the latest value and emits it to new subscribers. Replay subject, replays a specified number of past emissions. Async subject, emits only the last value upon completion.
What are common RxJS operators used in Angular?
Common RxJS operators. MAP transforms emitted values. Filters emissions by condition. Switch map, switches to a new inner observable, canceling the previous merge map, maps to inner observable, subscribes concurrently. Tap, performs side effects without modifying the stream catcher, handles errors in the stream.
What is the switch map operator?
Switch map maps each emission to an inner observable and switches to the latest one, unsubscribing from previous inner observables. Common use case, search as you type, where each keystroke triggers a new HTTP request, and previous pending requests are automatically cancelled.
What is HTTP client in Angular?
HTTP client is a service in Angular/common/HTTP for making HTTP requests. It returns observables and supports get, post, put, delete, typed responses with generics. Request/response headers. Query parameters. Progress events. Import HTTP client module to use it.
How do you make a GET request with HTTP client?
Use the GET method with a generic type. This.http.get/API/users.subscribe. Next, users equals this.users equals users, error equals console.error, failed, error. The request is executed only when subscribed to, as HTTP client returns a cold observable.
What is an HTTP interceptor in Angular?
An HTTP interceptor is a service implementing HTTP interceptor that intercepts and optionally transforms HTTP requests and responses. Common use cases: adding authentication tokens to headers, logging requests and responses, global error handling, showing/hiding a loading spinner.
How do you create an HTTP interceptor?
Implement the HTTP interceptor interface at injectable. Export class auth interceptor implements HTTP interceptor, intercept, REQ, HTTP request. Next, HTTP handler observable. Const cloned equals REQ clone, set headers, authorization, bearer plus this.token, return next.handle, cloned, register it in providers with HTTP_interceptors multi-token.
What is the @input decorator?
@input marks a component property as an input binding, allowing a parent component to pass data to a child. Child@input, name, string, parent template, changes to the parent value automatically propagate to the child.
What is the @output decorator?
@output marks a property as an event emitter that sends data from a child to a parent component. Child@output, notify equals new event emitter, child method, this.notify.emit, hello, parent template.
What is ViewChild in Angular?
@ViewChild is a decorator that provides access to a child component, directive, or DOM element from the parent component class at ViewChild, child component, child component, or for a template reference at ViewChild, myInput, InputRef, ElementRef. It is available after the ing-after-view-init lifecycle hook.
What is ContentChild versus ViewChild?
@ViewChild queries elements in the component's own template. @ContentChild queries elements in the component's projected content placed between the component's tags via. ViewChild is available after ing-after-view-init. ContentChild is available after ing-after-content-init.
What is ing-content used for?
Enables content projection, allowing a parent to insert content into a child component's template, child template, parent usage, projected content. Here it supports multi-slot projection with the select attribute.
What is change detection in Angular?
Change detection is Angular's mechanism for keeping the view in sync with the component's data. By default, Angular uses a zone-based strategy that checks all components from root to leaves on every event. You can optimize with change detection strategy. OnPush, which only checks when at input, references change or events are triggered.
What is the OnPush change detection strategy?
Change detection strategy. OnPush tells Angular to check the component only when, and at input, reference changes, not mutations. An event originates from the component or its children. An observable linked with async pipe emits mark for check is called manually. This significantly improves performance for large apps.
What is Angular CLI?
The Angular CLI, ing, is a command line tool for scaffolding and managing Angular projects. Key commands: ing new, create a new project; ing generate component /service /module, generate code; ing serve, start a dev server; ing build for production; ing test, run unit tests.
What is the purpose of environment files in Angular?
Environment files, environment.ts and environment.prod.ts, store configuration values that differ between environments, such as API URLs and feature flags. Angular CLI automatically swaps the file during build. Export const environment equals production false API URL http // localhost 3000.
What are Angular standalone components?
Standalone components, Angular 14+, are components that don't need to be declared in an ing module. They declare their own dependencies via the imports array in at component, standalone, true, imports, common module. This simplifies the module structure and enables tree-shakeable applications.
What is the Angular router's activated route?
Activated route is an injectable service that provides information about the current route, params, observable of route parameters, query params, observable of query parameters data, observable of resolved data snapshot, non-observable static snapshot usage. This.route.params.subscribe, p equals this, id equals p, id.
What is a resolver in Angular routing?
A resolver is a service implementing resolve that prefetches data before a route is activated. The resolved data is available via activatedRoute.data. This ensures the component has its required data before rendering, avoiding empty states or loading indicators on initial display.
What is the difference between forRoot and forChild?
Router module.forRoot, routes, is used once in the root module to configure the router with the main routes and register the router service. Router module.forChild, routes, is used in feature modules to register additional routes without re-providing the router service. Using forRoot more than once causes unexpected behavior.